and welcome to another episode of the LTN Pulse podcast. It's a podcast where we have conversations with LTN staff, missionaries, volunteers to dig into and discover what they are reading, watching, playing, and experiencing in nerd culture. LTN Pulse is a part of the Love Thy Nerd podcast network, and I'm one of your hosts, Michael Sherbet. I'm a podcast producer. I stream on Twitch. And as of this evening, for the first time in my life, I finished a full round of Balatro.
Hey, congratulations. I am your other host, Luke. I am the director of missions at Love Thy Nerd. I help recruit, train, and lead our mission teams to different conventions all over the globe. And I am now on my 8th cup of water today. So if you are watching and you see me get up and leave, I'll let you do the math. And I just recently restarted playing Red Dead Redemption 2, and I'm having the best time ever just riding around on my horse doing cowboy things. And tonight we are joined by a very special guest, Daniel. Hello, Daniel.
What's going on?
Oh, just podcasting.
I can see that.
But Daniel is, he's been around LTN for a minute, and he has some responsibilities at Love Thy Nerd, and we're going to dive into that. But Daniel, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. What we're going to dive into a little bit of just who you are. And instead of me saying, tell us a little bit about yourself, like I usually do sometimes, what do you nerd out about? Let's just start there. Just like real quick lightning round.
Sure. Well, the big thing is going to be tabletop board games, of course, since that's my bread and butter, but definitely a big video gamer. And I'm also a bit of a car guy. So I do like looking into cars a good bit. I'm a bit of a Formula One fan, so a little bit nerdy about those things. Not quite at the level of board gaming, but I would say those are up there. I like some movies too, like I like the Marvel Cinematic Universe a good bit. I still follow that, even through its rocky recency. So yeah, those are some highlights of my nerddom, I guess you could say.
What's your Halo car, your dream car, if you could have any car in the whole world?
Yeah, absolutely. My unreasonable dream car is the Pagani Huayra. So
okay,
I'll let you look it up. And in short, the reason for that is because if you want an expensive car, you want it to feel real special. Some expensive cars have pretty boring interiors, and this one is extremely special on the inside. So look up the Pagani Huayra if you can figure out how to spell it, and the interior is like a spaceship. Anyway, it's pretty awesome, but it's also like $5 million or something.
I'm more of a Zonda guy myself.
Yeah, hey,
from the Pagani line,
that's up there too.
It was my first Pagani love, and through Gran Turismo, so I can't, what can I say?
No shade. Absolutely.
Joke's on you guys. I'm driving my dream car, a Toyota pickup. So
hey, it'll last a lot longer than a Pagani will. It'll never let you down.
Probably. It lasted the hailstorm last week, so I was pretty stoked about that. Well, cool, Daniel. What do you do for LTN?
Yeah. I think my official title is something like playtest lead, although I do wear a couple hats, it feels like. But that's my main role now, is playtest lead, and that really involves two sides. One is finding publishers, designers, developers to send me their in-progress tabletop game, and then getting my team, the other half of it, to then play test it based on the requests of the developer. So we try to cater it a little bit to what they want to do, whether that's general play testing or really digging into a specific mechanism or player count, that sort of thing, as a service to them and as a community building tool on the playtester side as well. So it's a bit of two different things to serve our tabletop community. So yeah, in a nutshell, that's what I got going on. In addition to going on some of the missions trips every year as well, try to go to a few of them with Luke, of course, and others, and attend those cons. Yeah.
So I was going to ask, how did you kind of end up doing that? Like, what was your path there? Like, how did we decide, you know what, Daniel is going to do this playtesting stuff?
Yeah. I don't remember if it was any one exact point. I think the very genesis of it was probably at Gamma last year in 2024 when I met up with the guys from Whirly Gig. So Cole and Drew Whirly. Cole, listeners may know of Root fame and many other games, of course, but Root may be his biggest hit. His brother Drew runs his company as well. Not Leader Games. Leader Games is what Cole works for, but they have their own company, Whirly Gig, that do things like John Company and new game called Molly House coming up. Anyway, so they were talking about playtesting Molly House and things like that. And I got kind of my juices flowing, going, that'd be kind of cool to playtest for some folks, rub elbows with the big boys, but also help the industry out. So I don't think a lot started at that point, but it was sort of planted the seed of conversation and of thought process. And as we went along, we realized, hey, that's actually a need that the community has. Like we have some friends that are budding designers that were like, oh, that'd be great if we could help them playtest their games, but also expand that to really anyone in the industry to get some help there, since that's a big, always a big need. I can't stand seeing rule books with, my joke has been four play testers, all with the same last name as a designer. That's not a good look. So I think it just slowly evolved over time into that. So yeah.
Yeah,
awesome.
That's I always love seeing people's journeys into seeing like where they fit into LTN, and it doesn't all look the same. It's not always, oh, you're gonna do mission trip stuff, you're gonna do writing for the website. There's a lot of unique things, and people kind of find their space of where they thrive and what they enjoy. Because Daniel, we sat down and I remember sitting down just trying to help figure out like, what do you love to do? And I think we started with, well, I love to teach games. And we're, okay, what can we do with that? And I just love it. I love it a lot.
Yeah, thanks. And definitely it stems from that love of teaching games and wanting to do it well. And so it's almost like teaching, I get to teach publishers and developers how to teach their games by making it better before it hits the printer. So I kind of get to scratch that itch as well. And things like rulebook review feels like teaching games to, or learning or changing how to teach, thinking about how I teach games. Of course, I still do that when I go on trips and local game nights and things like that. So I get to do the hands-on on top of that, but it's all kind of related in there, that analytical process.
Yeah, definitely. And we'll circle back to this when we talk about like what's coming up, because we got some announcements for playtesting and some other things. So stick around till the end of the episode. But until then, let's talk about what you're into, man. Like what you're doing in nerd culture. So where do you want to start? Reading, watching, playing? I'll let you choose.
I'll do reading because that's a short one.
Okay.
I'm not a big reader. So if I read these days, it's audiobooks, and that counts, right? I'm saying it counts. And so I'm very slowly going through the Stormlight Archive, the Beast of series by famed author Brandon Sanderson, who you may know is finishing The Wheel of Time, Mistborn, and of course this series and several others. The man's a machine. So they're a bit of I don't want to say a slog, but like they're long books, very detailed. So I kind of take a break. So I'm on one of my breaks. I finished his third book recently in the series. So the fifth one had just come out. And so I'm taking a break, and there's a little novella between it. So I'm going to start the novella soon that goes between books 3 and 4, and then that'll kickstart me onto book 4. So that's the main thing and only thing that I can think of that I'm nerddom related reading, aside from random, board game forums. That doesn't count. But yeah.
They're reading a lot of books. They just happen to be a lot of rule books.
Sure, that's true.
Yeah.
I almost kind of saying that, like, I do read rule books frequently, but yeah, it's not always a pleasure to read, especially some of these in development ones. It's like, oh, this needs some work, but that's why they're there, and they'll get there for sure.
Totally. Any TV shows, movie series that you're into these days? You said you're keeping up with Marvel.
Yeah, I do keep up with Marvel. I would say not as well as I used to, but still well. Like I saw Captain America: Brave New World on opening night. It's kind of been a tradition. I watch every Marvel big release opening night. The shows I wait depending. So like I know Daredevil just came out. I've not started it yet. I was waiting for it all to release. And also we do the thing where we wait for subscription. Or we wait until it's all out to subscribe. So I don't even have Disney Plus right now. So once it's all out, we'll get in there. I'm also doing the same thing with Severance and Shrinking, which are Apple TV. So I think both of those are fully out. So we're about to resubscribe to Apple TV. I say we, I'm talking about my wife and I, Michelle. So we'll resubscribe to that soon and just watch all of that. So in anticipation of those things, we're waiting until we get there. We're watching Modern Family, which I know is not anything new, but we've never seen it before. So we're really enjoying that. We're on the 5th season or so, watching that. And then we're also watching Formula One Drive to Survive. The current season just came out a few weeks ago, maybe. We're Formula One fans, so it's always a really fun watch. And on my own, I'm slowly making my way through The Expanse. I know another modern hit for the sci-fi scene, which I'm really enjoying as well. So I think that's most of what I'm watching right now. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. My wife and I are also going through Modern Family.
Yeah.
We binge it pretty hard. When we binge a show, especially like a show we have seen before, we've already done a run or two through Modern Family. We go quick. We're on season 9 now, but it's still good all the way through the end. Like it's a kind of a rarity in that respect, in my opinion.
Yeah. I'm glad to hear that because I'm not going to say I'm tired of it or it's bad by any means, but it's not like it's so different from episode to episode that it's got me hooked. So it's just a good, fun watch that I've always enjoyed. But if I stopped right now, I think I'd be okay too. So it's good to hear that it goes all the way through the end. It's good all the way through. Then maybe I'll stick with it and we'll see.
Yeah, that's very fair. Like, my favorite thing about shows like Modern Family, like how you're talking, they're kind of really similar episode to episode, is once you've done your first standard watch through, they become the perfect shows to just have on in the background while you're doing stuff, like, like comfort shows that you don't really need to pay attention to. But every so often you come back and you're like, oh, that part was hilarious. And then you're out of, that kind of thing.
I got my shows like that. And you're not the first person to talk about, I feel like you're the second or third person to bring up Modern Family and The Expanse. I feel like somebody else we just had recently was watching The Expanse as well. So solid choices. Shrinking is fantastic.
Is The Expanse on Amazon?
It is, although rumor is it may be going away, which I don't quite understand because I believe it moved to Amazon from wherever it was before, and Amazon actually owned it or owns it. So if it's going away, that would be very sad. So I'm maybe not even halfway done with it. So, but yeah, for now it is on Amazon.
Nice. Sorry, Luke, you're bringing up Shrinking and Severance.
I was saying Shrinking is great. You're going to love it. Such a good season. They already started working on the season 3, I heard. So
wow, good.
Stoked about that. That's one of those shows where I'm like, I hope it gets enough success, because like I could see it not getting a big following, kind of like Ted Lasso had since the beginning of Ted Lasso. But I think it holds up. I think it's good, and I'm hoping to get a few seasons out of it. They do. Apple does it well. Well, I was going to say no one when to land the plane, but Ted Lasso season 4 is coming. And I'm just like, well, never mind.
I was going to say,
I think the name makes him too much money. Like I read / and heard on a podcast this week that Apple, the company, every year, according to them, they say they lose $1 billion just by doing Apple TV stuff.
Wow.
Like every year through making Apple TV shows, they lose $1 billion.
Yeah.
Which is wild. Wow. But I hope they keep doing it because they come up some great stuff. There's a lot of like hidden bangers on Apple TV.
Yeah. There's some really good movies and TV series. Severance is one of them. I haven't watched Severance yet. Asia loves it though. I don't know what the hang up is for me. I'm weird when it comes to shows. I gotta just be the one that wants to watch it. I can't be told what to do.
Knowing you, Luke, I know we talked about it. It may just not be your jam, and that's okay. It's definitely it's got a lot going on in it. So I wouldn't recommend it to just anybody for sure.
Sure.
It is excellent, but it is not an every person show like Modern Family might be.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for sure. What about in the world of games? Playing video games, board games that you're really into, anything like that?
Yeah. So I'm kind of bouncing right now between it's about video game wise between Helldivers 2. Got to do my salute here. And Marvel Rivals has been getting a lot of play for me as well. Maining Thor on there has been a lot of fun. And a single player game, I just started playing a little indie game called Potionomics, which is really cute. And it's what it sounds like. You're making potions for adventures and stuff and selling them in your shop and brewing potions and stuff. So that's been fun. A friend got me for my birthday a month ago this Warhammer 40K sort of, it's kind of an XCOM style video game. You know, if you have ever played XCOM, managing a little squad of guys and on that tactical gameplay style with Warhammer, it's been pretty cool as well. So yeah, those have been the main video games I've been playing at least. And board game wise, I'm all over the place because I'm playtesting and I just have different random people I play games with. Like this weekend, I'll be playing. Actually, I was going to be playing John Company. I don't know that it'll happen now. There's some scheduling conflicts, but I just recently played Barrage, which is a big heavy Euro. That's French. It's very. If you played Brass Birmingham, it has a lot of similar feels to Brass Birmingham as that. Let's see. My favorite thing I've been into board gaming wise is called Iridia. So it was my most anticipated crowdfunding project I've ever been a part of. It was 3.5 years from start to finish, through a lot of turbulence there, standard Kickstarter stuff, plus some of the family drama that they had. All fair. But anyway, it's like a big open world adventure style campaign game, RPG, co-op. So two of my buddies and I are playing through that, getting together to play a few hours every week or so. And it's just been an absolute blast. So Iridia, two big thumbs up for me. Worth the wait. I'm sure there's some bias there, absolutely. But yeah, those have been some of the highlights for me lately anyway. Oh, and I just got into trying to get into Netrunner. So Netrunner is run by NSG, which is kind of a nonprofit thing that keeps that game alive. And so I got some cards from them. I've just played a couple of games recently, and it's a blast. It's such a unique little card game. So yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff I'm into lately, I think, if I might say so.
That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I like it. Did you mention Balatro in there?
I did not. I should have.
You didn't, because we talked about that earlier. I can't remember if it was pre-show or it was during the intro.
I think it was.
We blurred the lines.
Yes.
Yeah. I was going to congratulate Michael on his first run. And not to brag or anything, but I just finished my first gold stake run. I don't know if you even know what that is yet.
I don't, but it sounds hard.
It probably took me, I don't know, it's hard to say, but maybe like 30 or 40 runs to finally beat the gold stake. And I was on a deck that was pretty hard. I was on the green deck that has less discards, and the money situation is kind of weird. The gold stake essentially is the highest difficulty, and there's a bunch of little modifiers. So you finish on that first difficulty, and you might notice on that deck it'll unlock the next one up. They're just called different colored stakes, blue, orange, whatever stakes, and gold is the top tier one. So man, Balatro is a blast. It's addictive and simple and gives you that push your luck feel, but enough strategic decision and the little. I think the art direction is what brings it all together for me. If the art direction and the sound wasn't what it was, it wouldn't be half as good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like I only kind of recently realized, I don't necessarily need to be just playing by the seat of my pants from round to round to round. Like I actually need to start building up a strategy and thinking about the jokers that I'm getting and all the modifiers that I'm doing. And the push your luck was, I'm surprised at how I should be surprised at how much it comes through. Like the most recent round I did in this was, I had a card that like for every, booster pack that I skipped, so I had to buy it and then choose nothing out of it, skip it. It added to my multiplier.
Incredible. That's one of the best ones in the game, I think.
Was it called red? Is it red something? It's a red card.
Yeah.
I think it's literally just called red card.
You might just be called red card. Yeah, you're right. I think so. And the
and
whole thing's
then-
just a red card. It's pure red. Yeah.
And was like, you know what? I'm gonna forgo so many bonuses that it's getting me. I'm getting cash just so I can make sure I can buy these and add to my multiplier
skip them on
every
purpose
time.
Every time.
Oh
Yeah.
yes,
It's
yeah.
like 99% of the time, it's worth just skipping for that. Oh, it's so good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, by the time by the last round of it, I was getting on decent, like pretty good, decent hands. I think my highest scored hands, this may not be anything to you, use a big one. It was just above 50K for a single hand played.
Yeah, which is huge. Yeah, in that early game there, that's big.
Oh no, early. It was the last round of the whole game, but or the whole like
early difficulties. That's which is all you need. It's big, so. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I haven't got into the exponents. Not sure if you've seen those videos where those guys are getting up into the exponents. I've not done that. I've been in like the high 100 millions, but I haven't been to exponents yet.
Yeah, they stopped showing the zeros and it's like e to the whatever.
Yeah.
Things I haven't seen in math since like high school or college.
Yeah. And those things, if I'm honest, I think you just got to luck into it. You have to have a really huge economy and you just re-roll until you get the crazy. There's just like 2 or 3 jokers that go perfectly well together that have a stupid combo. It makes it really fun, of course, when it happens, but that's one thing that strategy can't really get you. Maybe having a good eye for it, but aside from that, it's just whatever you're offered. There's so many jokers, like what is it, 150 of them, I think. So
yeah. And the gameplay loop itself is satisfying enough to just jump in a casual run and have a really good time, you know, throwing cards around and see what happens.
Yeah, it's not hard at all. It's not as overwhelming as something like Slay the Spire, which I also love, but that one's a little more difficult to know. You need to know the card pool better and all this other kind of stuff, but it's a lot more casual in a good way, in the best way possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's cool. I have it downloaded, but I have not played it yet. I keep getting distracted by other things.
Red Dead Redemption 2 is a worthy distraction, though. It's a worthy distraction.
It has poker in it.
Yeah, there you go.
It's basically the same game.
Hey, you're playing that Capybara game on your phone, aren't you? So just swap that out for Balatro and you're good.
It's true. Except I can't say this now because it's like I was going to say I haven't bought a game in X amount of months, but I did buy Red Dead recently, but it was $15 on the Steam sale, the spring sale.
How could you not stealing not to do that? You know, that's what
I know, right?
Wait, Red Dead 1 or 2?
2.
Red
Dead Redemption 2.
That's
$15.
Yeah.
So been playing that, but I need to try Balatro. And I met with someone yesterday who he was like, dude, you need to download Age of Empires again. He's like, I'm so into that game right now. I'm like, bruh, what year is
1,
it?
2, 3, 4, whatever how many there are. Which one? I'm assuming 2. That's the one that
I think 2 has they've got the definitive edition,
they remastered
like the
it and all that.
Remaster. Yeah.
And
I was just like, dude, I could get back into that probably. An old fashioned LAN party.
I used to work with a guy who I would just like randomly walk into his office to chat or whatever, and he'd be sitting there playing. This is like several years ago. He'd just be hanging out playing Age of Empires 2. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? He's like, just taking a break. Just playing some Age of Empires.
Gotta feed Genghis Khan. Gotta get him.
Dude, I mean, I'll play games on my lunch break. Speaking of Marvel Rivals, me and Daniel will play sometimes. If I take a game break on my own, the last time I did it, I was playing City Skylines, and that it's like I'll look up and it's like, where did the past 4 hours go?
Yeah.
I've made a huge mistake.
Yeah, that seems like a game where you want to settle in like, okay, this is what I'm doing today. Today I'm building a city.
Yes. I've definitely had those days. But we're not here to talk about that. Maybe we'll have a special episode where I give a city tour. No.
Yeah.
Aw.
But Daniel, what's new in Rivals? Because it's been a hot minute since I've played Rivals.
Have you played since The Thing and Human Torch came out?
Yes.
Then
but barely. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, there's, they've dropped some premium skins that in the store, and one of those events where you just get that weird currency for playing the weird game type and you get more skins. So the long and short of it is nothing is new.
Yeah.
Although the new season, I think, is supposed to start in 2 or 3 weeks. So, that's when there'll be some, hopefully,
new
some
characters,
new character
maybe?
drops. And
Nice.
I hear Blade might be coming. So, yeah, aside from that, not much.
Dude.
It's still pretty awesome.
Yeah. I'll have to... There's too many games, guys. Too many games.
Yeah. I know.
I can't play them all.
That's why I mentioned like all these other games. I'm like dabbling in several of them. I should just play probably just one at a time, but you can't tell me what to do with my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And actually, real quick, just speaking of Marvel, speaking of the devil, did you guys see the stream today? Like where they announced stuff
for Doomsday?
Yeah.
I didn't watch the stream, but
because I know you
Luke
avoid
knows some kind of anti-trailer. So, but this wasn't really a trailer. It's just like
it was an announcement
of the cast that's going to be in it. That's what you're talking about, where they pan across all the cast chairs.
Yeah,
I saw that cool. I saw the chair shots on
the
Reddit.
Stills. Yeah.
It got me a little hype. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. If you go back and watch the video, it plays like the really familiar Avengers theme,
right?
But then when it gets to those later characters and they start like showing like the old X-Men names, it plays that a little bit, like the X-Men theme, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, that was so. I just want to listen to that over and over again. It was so cool.
They're working it. I think they know they have some work cut out for them to do since the hype has not been there.
Yeah,
leading up to Infinity War and whatever previously, but I mean I believe they can do it.
Yeah, this kind of feels like the biggest shot to bring back something that resembles the first phase hype.
Yeah
for sure. Hard to hit that again, and I'm okay if they don't, but I'm rooting
honestly
for them.
Hearing the Avengers theme again, like it just took me back to the first Avengers movie, where it's just like as soon as that song played, I was like, dude, this is the next big thing. And it was an awesome ride. But yeah, I feel the fatigue sometimes, but that that announcement today, just like it got me hyped. And all it did was show us some names on some chairs,
right.
Play some music, but
sometimes that's all it takes. Yeah, I chuckled a little bit when you said the word fatigue. I watched a YouTube short recently, and I'm not going to do the thing where I try to impersonate exactly how it went. But in essence,
no, just give us the play-by-play.
Yeah, it was showing the pattern that we don't remember very often until we really think about it, of Marvel fans saying the same things in cycle. Things like, "Oh, MCU is dead," talking about like the original Thor movie that came out that was like okay.
Yeah.
The Avengers comes out like, oh, it's back. It's so back. Maybe then Thor the Dark World. Oh, MCU is dead. I'm getting Marvel fatigue. Oh, it's back. When it comes to like Captain America, Winter Soldier. Oh, MCU is dead. Like it's been, and I've thought about, I've said these same things, but so all I have to say is like, I think it made my hype go up a little more because MCU's always have this up and downs, and they can always bring it. So I believe.
I also believe, sort of. I hope it's good. Like I still haven't seen the Captain America Brave New World or whatever it's called.
No rush. It doesn't tie into anything.
No, great. Great.
Which is a bummer, but
I think that's
not a spoiler, but it
was the first Marvel movie in a very long time that I didn't watch, at least like opening week.
Don't get me wrong, it's worth a watch. It's not a bad movie, but it's not going to blow your mind either. It's a good time. It's worth watching.
I'll watch it eventually. Maybe when it hits Disney Plus.
At this point, that's the appropriate reaction.
I think there's like a theater still playing it near me, but I'll be the only one in the theater.
That's the perfect
awkward
viewing experience. It's your own personal theater at that point.
Hard disagree, but I understand. But
I
depends.
I remember
on the movie, of course.
The first movie
for sure.
I went and watched by myself, but like other people were there. Where it was the first like Star Wars not reboot, but when it came back, Like I couldn't find anyone to go with, or I can't remember what happened.
Episode 7?
Yeah, episode 7. I went and watched it by myself, but like there's just a ton of other fans there, and it was super cool. But I'll do that. I don't like the idea of just like being in an empty room with a giant screen. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to try it and report back for science.
Yes.
We'll try it.
Know.
We'll tune in next week for probably not. I don't know when I have time to go watch that. I gotta play Red Dead.
Yeah,
priorities.
Oh, Daniel, what's coming up, man? You got any trips coming up? You got like game plans? What's happening?
Yeah.
What's happening with playtesting? Let's take it one at a time. What's going on?
Well, I'll plug playtesting first, since that's my thing. So we're always open for more game submissions, although that's not where my main need is. Although again, if you're listening and you'd love to submit your game to LTN for playtesting, then go to lovethynerd.com/playtest and do so there. Likewise, what I really am looking for is to open the floodgates for more playtesters. So if you're a seasoned board gamer and love tabletop gaming in any kind of way, whether you're a big RPG player or party game player or a heavy Euro player, I'd love to have you on part of my team. So same link, lovethynerd.com/playtest, and fill out an application, and then we'll get you going. That's the main thing I need. So I want to have a good sized team so that when developers come to us, we can have numbers, which is not nothing, to say that, hey, dream big. 100 players tested my game. That's pretty insane. I haven't not seen many games that have 100 play testers listed in the credits. So that's a pipe dream, and we'll get there one day. But love to have more folks join the team that are passionate about games, love games, and want to give their feedback and have a good eye on what makes a good game, for sure. So that's gonna go. Again, if you're listening to this, you can do that right now. We'll be posting that around to on the LTN socials and all that good stuff as well. So I'd love to have you guys as part of that team. Otherwise, also locally, if you're in the Kentuckiana area, I'm part of a different group called Dukes of Highland that we run local mega games as well. So if you know anything about mega games, just kind of big RPG meets tabletop gaming meets just chaotic nonsense. And we're doing an Event Horizon mega game. So which is based on the movie. If you've seen the sci-fi movie called Event Horizon, then we're doing one based off of that here in just a month. So you can go to dukesofhighland.net for info on that, and I'll be there running it with a bunch of my friends, essentially, and it's gonna be super fun. This is probably like the 7th or 10th game that I've run. It's just a weird, awesome experience in all the right ways.
Yeah.
It's usually it's an all day thing, or around 6 hours that it takes to do. So it's a ton of fun. Those are probably the 2 next big events coming up. Then I'll be at Origins in June with Bubba and the whole team with LTN, helping out all play and just hanging out with the cool folks there in Columbus. So, yep, those are my plugs.
Nice. And if I'm going to plug something since you just mentioned Origins. If you're listening and want to go to Origins, technically the door is closed, but don't let that stop you. Just bust it down. Come talk to me. The registration might still be open and you can sneak in, but we'd love to have anyone and everyone come hang out.
How big of a group?
Daniel. Right now we're around, there's like a dozen people, but
nice.
There's more than enough need in the space. Like I could call up a dozen people and ask if they need some help, and they would say yes. And so that's something that we're working on, trying to fill that need, show up for people, be able to help and love and serve our nerdy neighbors there. So Daniel has been a huge part of that. What do you know, like what number trip this is for you off the top of your head ish?
My gut says 10 maybe, but I haven't actually counted.
Yeah.
Maybe my
double
10s.
Digits.
Something like that.
Wow.
I might be able to look it up too. But
I'm sure I could figure it out, but we'll just say 10 because that sounds cool.
10 trips. And so I guess would you recommend a Love Thy Nerd mission trip?
Oh, absolutely not. I mean,
dang it.
I only go because they pay me. Just kidding.
False.
I don't.
I need
The opposite, I think.
Yeah, it couldn't be more false, actually. So if you're hearing this, send money, actually.
If people are going to be like calling me like, hey, what? I have to fundraise for this thing. Like, what?
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
paying Daniel?
You can hear a lot of bias since I work here also, and so do these guys. But it really is just a life-giving event. I was here talking to a guy today about Origins and how he should come on the trip with us. And yeah, it's great to go and help our partners there and to meet great people. But for yourself too, as a iron sharpening iron type of experience, meeting all these kinds of awesome people, whether they're with LTN staff or just coming on a trip like you and us to just hang out together. Man, that time spent at the Airbnb just playing games and decompressing and sharing our lives is some of the best parts of these trips as well. So don't overlook that part. It's really good, not just as a service trip, but also as a God glorifying, uplifting trip for your soul as well. So highly recommended from me. Very doable. Get some friends involved in your lives to help you fundraise. It's been awesome. So do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Before we wrap up, I want to again circle back real quick to the playtesting stuff. When somebody goes to apply, what can they expect? Because this is a legit process, and I kind of want to prepare people for it.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because I've met a few people that they just said, "Hey, I'll just apply right now," and then they realize, "Oh, I need to sit down for 20 minutes and do this." And don't be put off by that. The couple reasons for that are I want to get kind of a gamer profile from my applicants, so that I just kind of an idea of what type of gamer you are within the board game industry. There's no right or wrong answers. It's just information for me so that I can eventually categorize my playtest groups into different areas. So it's a little involved as far as what types of games you do and don't like. There's a bunch of that. And there's a part of it too where I ask you to answer kind of a long form question, an opinion piece. And it's a way for me to help see that you can put your thoughts on paper well, because I want people that can articulate their thoughts about a game, what they like or don't like about it, do that well. So I want people that can do that, because I do ultimately, I will be vetting people. In theory, if I had 1,000 applications, I wouldn't probably have all of them get in. I want people that are really passionate about games. It's the most important thing, and that have a good opinion on games too. So if you apply, we'll fill out that form. I'll connect with you. We'll chat, and then likely you'll be approved. If you're someone that's passionate about games and all those things, and get you into the Discord and all that good stuff, and we'll set you up. So, but yeah, I would say prepared about a 15 to 20 minute application or so. It's as long as you want it to take. It can take shorter or longer, I suppose, but there's a little bit going on in there for sure.
Yeah. It's a good process. It is a little bit long, but it helps us helps Daniel make sure you're playing the right games, and that you're gonna enjoy playtesting and all of that. I can't remember who I was talking to, but they're like, they said, I got to the second application within the application, and I was just like, what is happening? I'm like, wait, what are you talking about? And he's like the
Quantic Foundry portion.
Yeah. I'm just like,
what portion?
Yeah, there's another website called Quantic Foundry that does a gamer profile, sort of almost like personality test, which is pretty cool. I recommend anybody listening to this take it. It's pretty fun to go through. It just asks you all kinds of questions, almost like a personality test, like Enneagram might, and it gives you one of those graph. I don't know, what do you call those? The heat map kind of
personality.
Graphs where it has pulls in different directions of different types of categories of things like cooperation or immersion to competitiveness and all that. So it's pretty fun to do too. That part is probably the longest part of the application, if anything.
I'm going to take it and use that answer for any time anybody asks me what my Enneagram is.
You know what? I should do that too, because as Luke knows, Luke and I have thoughts about the personality test. So
yeah,
I feel like that one more perfectly encapsulates who I am the Quantic Foundry does more than like a 7 does.
What's your personality? I like worker placement.
Yeah.
And
I'm a 3.5 in worker placement and a 1 on role playing, 7.3.
I really don't like party games, but yeah, that's good. That's good. Maybe we should do like a whole class and thing on that instead of
it could be
Enneagram courses. Well, cool.
Thanks.
Any last words, Daniel?
Oh, I'm about to be executed. I didn't realize that was part of the process.
I thought we were going to talk about it and we never did, but like I know Daniel and I like watching Last Meal.
Oh yeah.
It's a fun spin-off of Mythical Kitchen, which is a spin-off of Good Mythical Morning.
Yeah.
Another great podcast.
I should have mentioned that. I watch that more than any other show, probably. As far as like time
Good Mythical Morning.
Of course, the Daily Show is not that. Yeah, Good Mythical Morning and a lot of the Mythical Kitchen stuff as well, including things like Last Meals. So I do love the mythical content. It tends to be pretty good stuff.
Yeah. That was my nod to Last Meal. It's like, what are your last words?
The last words are, it was worth it, I guess.
Are you talking about this podcast or?
Hey, that's open to interpretation.
Okay, well then.
That's my Christopher Nolan sort of just ambiguous ending. Leave it at that and let people decide what they think that.
I guess it was worth it.
Nobody knows what happens after the cameras go off.
That's right. No, this has been great. Thanks for having me. And again, if you're listening, we'd love to have you as part of the team as LTN continues to grow in many ways. It's exciting to be part of this small branch of it. So thanks, Michael and Luke, for chatting. It's been super fun, and look forward to the next time.
Yeah, thanks for being here, Daniel. And for those listening and or watching, thank you for being here as well, as we just dive into what the nerd community in Love Thy Nerd is reading, watching, playing, and experiencing in nerd culture. You could join in the fun and share what you are up to in the nerd culture by leaving a comment on the YouTubes, jumping into our Discord or Facebook community, and leaving a comment there, tagging one of us. Let us know what you're up to. We'd love to hear. Like I said, you could also find us on YouTube. If you are listening to us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you're listening to us, check us out on YouTube because you can see all of our beautiful faces. And we would love for you to join us there. You can also, like Daniel said, sign up for several things. Get involved. Come on a trip with us to Origins or Gen Con or any future mission trip. We would love to have you. Just go to lovethynerd.com/outreach. You can also join the playtesting team. As Daniel said, we need 100 people to make his dream come true at the very least. Minimum. 100 people minimum. So go sign up.
To 1,000.
That's right.
1,000. Imagine. I don't know if you'd need to hire some staff at that point. I feel like that's a lot of people to manage, but join in the thousands of people that will be signing up for the Love Thy Nerd playtesting team at lovethynerd.com/playtest. And we hope to see you next time. Until then, my name is Luke. I've been a host.
My name is Michael. I've been the other host.
And I've been Daniel, the guest this time.
Yes, this time Daniel's the guest. And we love and appreciate you. We will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.